Good morning. I'm here at Embedded World 2023 and I'm pleased to be joined by Dragan Maric, who is the Senior Business Development Manager for Industrial Automation at Analog Devices. And today we're going to be talking about the data-driven digital factory. So thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Could we just start with a brief introduction of yourself, please?
Sure. As you mentioned, I am Business Development Manager for Industrial Automation at Analog Devices. I've been with the company for almost 5 years, but actually at that time joining from Maxim Integrated, a few years ahead of our announcement of acquiring Maxim Integrated. So in total it is almost 15 years with the company in various capacities, the headquarters, product definition, business management, product marketing management, also with the sales organization, field application roles, channel management, and so on.
Fantastic. And tell us a little bit about Analog Devices as a company.
Analog Devices is a global semiconductor company headquartered in the US with over 60 design centers globally, more than 10,000 engineers. Also, on the average annually, we invest more than $1.5 billion in research and development, which certainly then drives the innovation with all the resources behind it.
Yeah, fantastic. So, as I say, today we're going to be talking about the digital factory. So to start with, can you tell us what exactly is a digital factory? You know, how would you define it? What does it deliver? And what are the benefits, for example, of the convergence of information and operational technologies?
Digital factory is the factory that essentially operates based on data, data-driven operation in essence. So to achieve the higher operational efficiency, in digital factory, we gather the data from all the sources available, from sensors, machines, robots, humans that operate the facility. The idea is to aggregate the data, and once we have all the data available, to do proper processing at the intelligent edge. Once we do that, then we can visualize what the actual information technology contribution to optimization of operational technology is. Meaning with all the data available, where information technologies help us beyond its traditional perception of helping us with enterprise resource management or sales databases and so on. Now information technology is there to provide all the necessary inputs and models at the intelligent edge to be properly processed with the objective of then being of use for operation technology that used to be a separate science or art, if I may say. Now with all the proper inputs and insights into every aspects of manufacturing, operational technologies will result in optimized operational efficiency. What does it mean for us, this convergence that we just, as you call it, mentioned? Operational efficiency should result in higher productivity, more efficient, energy efficient operation, less waste, higher quality of products, less unplanned downtime. For example, unplanned downtime can contribute to a quarter of energy expenditures in a typical factory. However, now we have the opportunity to optimize the operation, and as we go with enabling the digital factories, also in many cases develop digital twins. What that means is that we can observe and control certain variables ahead of any failures or unplanned activities. Meaning we can have predictive maintenance or scheduled regular maintenance according to optimally observed performance of the factory and its operations in the factory.
And I understand that there are three fundamental aspects necessary to capitalize on digital factory data. So can you explain what those are?
Yeah, so we typically talk about the first one, sensing and processing. I already touched a little bit on that. We need to acquire the data to enable the proper processing at the intelligent edge. The other aspect is connectivity. All the sensors, peripherals, actuators need to be properly connected. There could be local areas using different connectivity protocols, but that all needs to be integrated in one unified factory industrial network.
Yeah.
That brings us to the third one. With now all the data aggregated, communicated via unified network, the surface for possible security attacks increases.
Yeah.
And we gotta be aware of and take proper measures to secure all of that data models that now should be used for the intended purpose, not be subject to malicious attacks with all the negative consequences.
Yeah, definitely. And following on from that then, are there any other challenges outside of sensing, connectivity and communication aspects that you've just outlined? How about things like configurability, robustness, power management?
Yeah, modern factories in the industry of the future, factories of the future, and we want to make them digital, as we said, will also mean ease of configurability, not only with the sensors, where analog devices has for the sensor signal acquisition configurable inputs and outputs, but making the whole floor reconfigurable as needed. Now we have a full insight, and that could be additional benefit here. When it comes to robustness, many of the factories, depending on the processes that are controlled or executed, operate in harsh environments, harsh especially for operators, but also some of them can be inexplosive and other dangerous environments. So robustness of the entire implementation is critical, from sensor to the intelligent edge.
Yeah.
Also, power management, power is the enabler of all of this. So information and signals need a proper power at each stage. Maximizing the efficiency will result in less energy spent. Some of the examples where this can head to so-called dark factories, where we actually offload human operators to focus on more creative tasks and essentially run a digital factory in a fully automated modes using different machinery and robots without much lighting needed or heating or cooling, thus resulting in eco-efficiency as well.
Of course, yeah. And you've called out, sensors quite a bit in this conversation, but what about actuators? I mean, I would imagine they would also play a significant role in a digital factory's operation.
Yeah, of course. Those are field devices, and we talk about both of them. I might have mentioned a little bit more on sensors and some of the latest ADI solutions certainly available for sensor conditioning, intelligence, sensor communication, and so on.
Yeah.
But the actuators, of course, once we process the data at the intelligent edge properly, we need to execute certain functions based on that information.
Yeah.
In that process, we control different motors. Motion control is one of the areas of expertise, strengthened by acquisition of dynamic solutions. For example, as just one example, when it comes to motion control and smaller power levels, but also for the motors in megawatt range, there are solutions as well. Valves are critical in process control. For example, various robots, collaborative robots, autonomous vehicles, we, in many cases, need to perform certain functions. In the factory, the things are moving constantly, and we need to execute controlled motion, frequently positioning whether equipment or products as they move to its final stage. Those are some examples,
Yeah, fantastic. And considering how extensive interconnectivity becomes within a digital factory, as you've said before, security concerns will inevitably grow. So what solutions does Analog Devices offer to support system-level security architecture and design?
The digital factory cannot be even conceived at all without thinking of security. For example, we mentioned sensors or actuators. They can be interfaced with different ADI technologies, whether it is IO-Link for the last step in robust sensor signal acquisition, or T1L, as 10-based T1L, the industrial Ethernet over inexpensive and robust twisted pair wire. But we are bringing more and more intelligence closer to sensors. We are acquiring and aggregating more and more data via all these industrial Ethernet protocols as well, and even some of more established RS-485 and other protocols that we cover and supply. So what happens is that unified digital factory network becomes then prone or attracts interest of people who may want to either access the data, but also all the way to malicious attacks and other potentially hazardous situations. So proper security design is critical to enabling digital factory. Analog devices has a long history of working with safety critical and security functions. Here we are talking about securing the data, but let's not forget safety of the factory, where we also have solutions and experience with combining with all of those. But let's go back to the cybersecurity, essentially. We strengthened our portfolio by acquiring Maxim integrated and fully integrated their product lines. It helps us because not only the portfolio of devices is now further expanded, but also we now have a large number of engineers with long history of working on most challenging cybersecurity cases, from financial world to government to industrial applications. All in-house, all ready to address the toughest challenges that digital factory operators and owners may face. I would put the emphasis on proper security design that has to be done from the beginning of planning the factory, like engineers approach designing their products or circuit board with certain architecture steps in the development. Security needs to be approached in a similar fashion, starting with the analysis of the risks, and then considering whether all three or some of these three aspects need to be addressed. In the security world, those would be authentication, encryption, and integrity. When it comes to authentication, it is critical to have proper planned and designed sensors, for example, in the factory. Replacing sensor with a non-authorized one on the factory floor can lead to catastrophic outcomes even. Again, we frequently work in factories either with aggressive chemicals, gases, or with high-speed moving machinery and production lines. So to be sure that we have the original equipment, the proper sensor or proper actuator, each device on the network should be properly authenticated that it is supposed to be there. That's how to say, simplifying the authentication aspect of this. Once the data flow goes over different wires, cables, or wirelessly, people might be interested in that data, obviously, and a concept of encryption is there pretty obvious as needed. Integrity includes many aspects. I would just mention the secure boot. It is actually includes both aspects, not only integrity, but authentication. You can imagine at the intelligent edge or other processing node in the network, we want to be sure that at the power up or any point of the needed during the operation, we load the authorized designed boot, for example. So taking all those into account, we are really happy to have Legacy Maxim as expertise in-house now that we hope will result in giving solutions to our customers that will work on a first try.
Fantastic. And given all you've said, let's take a step back again. You know, is this phenomenon of the digital factory happening now, you know, across industry?
I would say that we are talking at exactly the right time, the onset, and the activities are picking up. This is a very interesting topic on all levels, from planning small facilities to large corporations. It attracted the attention of work groups at World Economic Forum, and there are task groups, some of them already reporting first successful implementations. Analog Devices, as a semiconductor maker, is always happy to address the toughest challenges our customers face. But I would emphasize in this process of enabling digital factory and its future, we also offer unprecedented quality for all the solutions we provide. So yes, I would say it is definitely exciting time. The things are happening, and will only accelerate from here.
Fantastic. And can you tell us how the company works with partners? You know, for example, how is Analog Devices working with Digi-Key to help evolve and enable the digital factory of the future?
Yeah, so thank you again for having me here together with Digi-Key colleagues today. That's actually a long history of cooperation. The traditional model included, of course, Digi-Key working with us to help us reach everyone interested in our latest technologies and interested in using our quality for long term. And we are very grateful for the long history of success there working together. However, as you might know, we are expanding that to the next level. We work together on different content, whether it is for the web, whether it is printed materials, shows like this one, doing joint promotions. But also, I would mention what we started in recent years, the Digi-Key helping us reach all the enablers, in this case of Digital Factory, by organizing different seminars, whether virtual or in person, for us, together with us, expert panels that we are always glad to participate along with other stakeholders that need to come together to make Digital Factory a reality.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your insights into this topic.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Likewise, thank you.
Thank you.